Warning: the following show contains strong language and content that may not be suitable for a younger audience. The show can also contain spoilers for any and all anime and manga, so always check the description below for the relevant spoiler warnings. And if you don't, then that's your fault, so consider yourselves warned.
Gems are truly outrageous.
That was brilliant. Best opening ever. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, not of all ages because this is probably too mature for certain people. Welcome to episode 11 of the Manga Raiders Community Happy Hour. My name is Simon, better known as Vacant on MangaRaiders.com, and I'm here to drink beer, have fun with two people. Maybe three, we don't know. We might have an extra person jumping on halfway through. We never know. They're not here at the moment, but hey ho. To my virtual left is, of course, Malawi's greatest export, and that is Lego Maestro.
Oh God! How dare you mention that country I don't come from anymore? I'm German. How many times? Okay.
I'll rewind that back. Germany's greatest import, Lego Maestro. How's it going, dude?
That's me, Mordecai, back on the happy hour thing. Just, shooting the shit with the guys, and very interestingly enough, to my virtual left, not an import at all, an OG Scottish man.
Hello, it's me, Sherbertlemon. You kind of left off the introduction there and just left me to take over. So
kind of tailed off. You kind of
would depend on Vacant's magic.
Yeah, no, magic of editing. We can get at looking professional. It'll come out fine. It'll come out perfect.
You're supposed to cut off this part where we're talking about cutting off the magic.
No, don't cut off editing speak. Everyone loves it.
But
yeah, a debutante, as it were, to the show, Mr. Sherbertlemon. An exceptional nobody, hails from Scotland. He is not a Scottish stereotype in no way whatsoever. Sherbet, what are you drinking?
Tenants at the moment.
Just some tenants, but
Lego seems to be mesmerised by my accent. I wish that he could actually hear like a real Scottish man and just try to understand what he says. Because this is nothing. This is nothing. Like, I don't think I can even I don't know what kind of I'm trying to think of the best way to compare it. Like, we get things up here called Neds, and where you're from, Vacant, that's known as Chavs.
Yeah.
So what would that be in Germany? Like, it's the sort of
skinheads, maybe, possibly.
Like the little
watered down. What is that?
It's basically like the yobs, kind of the yob culture. Like the troublemakers, underage drinkers, wear Burberry.
I better ask.
Okay, because you steer clear of them, Lego. Don't get taken in by them. They may look fancy, and they may allure you with tales of adventures and all kinds of conquests.
Their forearms do not look fancy at all. And it affects everything about them.
Do they at least have nice ladies trailing after them?
No, it's the kind of ladies that have their hair tied back far too tight, and you can see the skin literally stretching off their foreheads. And you know that's going to really suffer in the long run. Yes,
they're the kind of girl who will start a fight faster than their fella will.
Yes, normally with their fellow.
Normally, it's normally their fella that they're taking out. But yeah, I luckily I've never dated. Oh no, I kind of have. Embarrassing side story. Basically where I used to work. We worked at Alton Towers, which is a huge theme park, and they hire many hundreds, possibly thousands of people. So there's people working in the photo booths, people working in the restaurant, shops, on the rides. So we don't know everyone's names. There was two girls who worked in the shop near the ride that me and my friend worked at. And they were basically, their names were Red Ribbon Girl, because she always wore a red ribbon in her hair, and chavvy blonde girl, who was blonde and she looked slightly chavvy. She had a lip piercing, but I would like the look of her, and my friend liked the look of Red Ribbon Girl. So we basically ended up like going on a night out, and we met them. Like we bumped into them in a nightclub, and I was with chavvy blonde girl for the night, for the evening, and I never felt safer. I'm not gonna lie, going to that bar, I've never felt safer in my life with chavvy blonde girl by my side. It's bad that I don't know her name.
Is being protected by the overly buff lady.
She wasn't buff. She wasn't buff. This is the thing. They're not buff. She was a nice looking, very nice looking girl. She was just a bit chavvy. And also, but I was like, no one's going to start shit with me and her. Like, no one even came and asked us for a cigarette. Like, nothing. Like, it's fine. Anywho, before we get too derailed, I believe we said it's episode 11. It's the return.
After our material, dude. Okay, yeah, fine.
We've returned after I had a hiatus. Funnily enough, I actually missed episode 10. It was the first one that I've never been on. I've broken the streak, which is very, very good. Noisy, Manimal, and Pipers, big shout out to those. They host it. Another quick word: Noisy is not here and won't be here for a while, as we all know if you've listened to past ones.
He's busy fighting hollows in Hueco Mundo.
He is currently halfway through Hueco Mundo.
Best of luck to him on it.
He's backpacking through Canada. Confirmed reports of whether he's got his Bonkai or not. They're questionable at best, but I think he would. If there's anyone who I know who could get Bonkai other than Lego, would be me. No, it would be Noisy. But anyway, hope he's doing well. We'll see him very soon. I'm sure he'll come back with many tales for the happy hour. But Lego, I'll start with you, my friend. How was your last couple of weeks? How have you been doing?
Whoa, you know that protagonitis disease that I used to have for the last 2 weeks?
Uh-huh.
Well, I was completely cured by having, I don't know if I can even call it antagonitis, because villains enjoy their lives.
They do.
Oh man, it was just such shit luck after shit luck. I had a horrible week, and it has also been fantastic in discovering my limits of misery. Okay, anyway.
Oh, my friend.
And then there's some university boo dust that I have to I'm applying for university here, so there were some issues with that as well.
Yeah.
So that was annoying. I was dealing with that for the whole weekend. And then when I come back tired and completely drained of all energy and hope on Monday, Monday, I wake up Tuesday morning and my glasses are broken. And then I'm like,
How did you manage that?
I slept on them, but I always sleep with my glasses on my face.
Who sleeps with glasses on? Are you being serious?
I'm serious, man. It's swag.
Why?
It's skillful.
Who's going to watch you look swag when you're sleeping? What are you going to achieve from that?
I need to sleep with my glasses on, just in case there's an intruder. My vision is at the optimal level.
Do you go to bed with a fur-lined coat as well, just so you can wake up and go like, oh yeah, looking good and overheating?
My spectacles, dude. Okay, I usually just drip.
I feel like I've just gave him a new idea.
Yeah, don't. Lego more with his fur coat.
And an empty champagne glass, just so you can pour one fresh in the morning.
Okay.
I've never met anyone.
If you're breaking your glasses in the night, do not go to bed with a champagne glass Lego, no matter how good I make it sound, because it will not end well.
What do you sleep on? Because how does a pillow break a glass?
About it? I wanted to take a champagne glass. I slept on the whole damn thing, so the lenses popped out right out of the frame.
I see.
And the specs died. I'm actually wearing them sellotape now. I've ordered a new pair, but
oh no, you're rocking the sellotape look.
I'm rocking the sellotape for the first time in my life. I feel like such a bullied kid.
I feel like asking for your lunch money now.
Send it to me on PayPal.
Yeah, that's the new age of bullies. I bet that's actually how it happens in schools nowadays. I bet they don't. No longer do they tap people's pockets and empty the pockets or shake them by their ankles upside down.
That's too old school.
Yeah, it's a shame when these old traditions die out, isn't it? These fine, honourable traditions of bullying. God bless them. Not really. They're all dickheads. If you are a bully, stop it, because it's not very nice to people. So stop it.
Oh man, I felt like such an old fart. I saw what's that? I saw a kid, right, rocking earphones and talking hands free to someone else on his smartphone. I was like, children these days. The thought just popped into my head, and I was like, oh man, how ancient am I to be thinking this?
No, I think it's great though. Like, I mean, I know there's points where you will look at kids and think, oh, they seem to be getting dumber these days, but I swear they're getting smarter. Like, I was walking by just like when I came out of work, like this was a long time ago actually. But this sticks in my mind, and like I used to work at a coffee shop, and sort of the more upper class areas of Glasgow, and like these kids were coming out, like must have just came out of school because they were still in their little uniforms, and they could only have been like 11, 12, and it was just, one of them said, it's all hypothetical though, isn't it? And I was just, I did not know the fucking word hypothetical at that age. I was a dumb shit. What the hell is going on?
I really love hearing children have intelligent conversations.
That is great. That is actually great.
It renews my faith in society when I'm like, oh my god, those people aren't talking about who they fingered at the back of the bus or behind the bike shelter. They're talking about, I honestly was
really encouraging to hear, man.
Yeah, I was honestly doing my shopping at one point. I was doing present shopping. It was somebody's birthday, and I was in the town centre, and I was behind some kids at one point. I wasn't following them, of course. Understand, it was purely just a coincidence that I was behind them. And I was walking behind them, and they were having a full-blown conversation about Aristotle, and they were just talking about Aristotle, and I was just like, they were about 14, maybe 13 to 16, I don't know, something like that, and I was just like, oh yes,
you totally
there's hope. There is hope yet. There is hope yet. Hopefully, Lego, I've heard you, like you said, you had a bad week. You've got some beers now.
No, it was a bad week, but I was still productive, so it's okay. And
that's okay.
My beautiful laptop is coming tomorrow, so I'm happy again.
Be a glass half full kind of guy.
I deserved it.
You do. No, but you're here, man. You're here in good company with a few beers. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a laugh and everything.
Hell yeah! I'm obligated to ask. How's your week been, Vacant?
Oh, me? I was gonna go to Sherbert, but I guess I
saved the best for the last, dude.
We'll save the best for the last, then. We'll save best for the last.
Can savor my voice.
Yeah, because I know Lego's got a man crush and a boner. Both of them. They're not mutually exclusive. Those ideas. For accents.
Thank you for ruining my image further. Thank you.
But it's okay. The After Hours has done that for all of us, so don't worry. Please don't watch. Please don't listen to the After Hours if you're easily offended. To be fair, I think we have a good opening topic on it, so if that's a good barometer for if you will enjoy the rest of the show or not. My week was fantastic, pretty much. It was not too bad. Unfortunately, had a bit of bad news today. We're losing a few work colleagues, people who work remotely in my office. They have the pleasure of being able. They are able to work from home, so unfortunately we're potentially losing them. So we went for a few drinks with them, so I've already had a few, so apologies if I'm not the most coherent at the moment. I'm not.
That's the best way to be.
Not as sober as I normally am for these, because I don't normally start drinking until they begin.
You know, I sort of feel sad that you guys, like, okay, fine, you say that you drank, but you're always in control of yourself. God damn it, you still sound like a radio presenter at this point, man.
Thank you.
What sorcery is this?
How many radio presenters do you think stay sober during their job? Come on. That must be the best thing. Oh, I've only
thought of that now. That's like an epiphany. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they obviously have a shot glass on the side. I can even see it.
Exactly. Like, that's for those in-between song moments or the adverts. It's like, that advert's terrible. I need another drink.
We've got a whiskey hip flask at the behind the table. But yeah, my week's not too bad. Working, busy. Also, I had some added responsibilities as well. I find myself bunny sitting. That's bunny rabbits. For basically, my girlfriend's sister went on holiday for 2 weeks, so we had to look after a house, feed the fishes, which is fine. I feel capable of feeding fishes, and just looking after the rabbits. Which, I mean, I'm not really an expert on rabbits or anything, but I just always assumed they were kind of like guinea pigs, like just sort of they're fine. give him a
Rabbits
stroke.
are high maintenance, man.
Just give him food, give him a carrot or whatever, give him a stroke.
Oh
done.
man!
Oh
Excuse
no!
me while I punch a wall to feel manly again.
God no. Because we were getting them out, like thinking, just like picking them up, giving them a stroke, thinking, yeah, no, that's dead easy. This is. Well, I mean, the little guy one, fine, but like the female was the most aggressive motherfucker in the world. It was scratching, biting. I was like, fuck.
I've never heard of an aggressive rabbit.
It was aggressive as fuck. It was like, I mean, it was pissed off at the world.
You just bring out the bad side and everything.
In rabbits, it seemed that I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just because the other one was fine, but that one did not like us at all. Like
it had a demon in it.
It was kicking out. Maybe it's like ghost stories. And it's like it's possessed the rabbit instead of the cat. It didn't speak, so that's a positive at least. But yeah, that was an incredibly difficult experience. At one point, it broke loose when I was holding it, and it basically scratched me, jumped onto the floor, and I had to chase it around the garden for about 25 minutes. And eventually, I got pissed off, took my coat off, and ended up.
You can't make some.
I ended up taking my coat off and just using it as like a what are the matinees like for bulls? Are they called matinees?
Yeah, like those.
Yeah, I was using my coat to kind of like shepherd it into its cage. So that was an interesting experience to say the least. But
that is just something else, man.
But Sherbet, that was my week. Not much to say. I don't want to talk about my week.
And now the
much.
Guest of honor, the Scottish
guest
man.
of honor, our Scottish man, as Lego would say. Sherbet, how's your week been, dude? Have you been okay?
My week's been not bad. I've been... Oh, God, I can't say it now. I was going to say I've been drinking a lot. I've not been drinking much by...
He has been drinking a lot.
No. I've been out with friends. I've had a good bit of free time. I got my first ever graphics tablet 2 weeks ago. So I've been tampering with that a lot. I'm mainly a writer, but I'm trying
Dabble
to
and drawing.
do
Fantastic.
So just been pottering around with that and drinking, which just makes everything look better. So everything I draw, I mean. But nothing overly exciting. So yeah.
Tears in my eyes, Vacant.
I don't have anything on the same scale as a horrific bunny attack. I mean, this happy hour could have gone a lot worse. Vacant will not be attending tonight. He is currently in hospital with severe rabbit claw attacks. I mean,
those rabbit claws aren't. No, you don't mess around with rabbit claws.
Oh man,
they cut deep.
But rabbits, the only rabbits that I ever had, they died for no reason. I don't know why. I'm so. We took care of them, but then suddenly they died. My rabbits.
I'm sorry to hear that, my friend.
I feel terrible to say that I'm like trying not to laugh, even though I know it's a terrible thing. Like I know the pain.
I don't know.
I've had texts, but it's just you said that so nonchalantly, Like, yeah, I had rabbits, but then they died.
It's because something worse happened. I don't know if it's the same week or if I don't know if the trauma compressed into one thing, but when the rabbits died, a multicolored bird flew into our roof and killed itself. I don't know how that happened.
Your house is cursed, man. Like, that no doubt about it with that. Those are omens right there.
No, I was like, no, how is this happening? The bird flew into our roof and died. Well, in other news, it's nice and it's summer here, so nice and hot.
Well, I can't say the same here. It's not
going
at all here.
Is it ever summer in Scotland?
Yes, it is, and I'll thank you not to ask the same question that everyone else outside of Scotland seems to ask.
Which question is that?
Is it always raining? And yes, right now it is, but no, we had an amazing summer last year, and I'm very upset that we don't have it this year because we were told by everyone that it was going to be great.
Can I say something? We have a pretty damn good summer this summer. England have. Unfortunately, it seems Scotland hasn't. So thanks for taking that bullet. I must say, on behalf of everyone in England, Sherbert, thank you for taking that bullet.
It's fine. Germany's taking the rap next year.
Oh
Scotland's
man.
Yeah, Scotland.
Nah. Germany has had the opposite. Okay, I don't care. No, that heat wave was ridiculous, man. I don't care if I happen to be black and
You're from Malawi. How did you?
No, that was too hot, man. 39 degrees. 39 degrees. I do not care how black I am. That was not weather. That was not weather.
There is no amount of natural insulation
No.
for 39 degrees.
No. Okay, do I get to say?
I love how you basically
say negative 40 degrees.
Yeah.
No.
You've basically said that shades of blackness results in increased heat resistance. I don't. Is that how it works? Like, because I'm very pale myself.
Actually, it is.
It might work because I'm very pale.
That's why you wear light stuff in the summer, like
Yeah.
because light clothes reflect it, but when it's your skin, it's reflecting it and burning up. I mean, if you've got light shining against a mirror, it still gets hot. But black seems to do something else. I'm not very.
It absorbs.
It absorbs it. So.
It absorbs.
I'm very pale. I've got really pale skin, and I can't deal with heat. Like, if it gets too hot, I have to be out of it because I get like headaches and shit. Well, I have to basically equivalent to I have to just carry. I have to carry painkillers everywhere just so I can just be like, fuck's sake, and just have like ibuprofen. But yeah, no, it's. I even had a chance to have. I've had 3 barbecues so far. We're not even in August, so I'm very happy with that. That's normally the limit for a British summer. 3 barbecues and you're done.
It's really that bad, huh? I mean,
It's
in terms of it's really cold all the time.
Well,
You guys, that was hilarious on the forum. When is the sun
our
again?
tolerance for the sun is going to be much worse than yours, even if you hate Malawi's heat. Like, put it this way, I went to a festival a few years ago, and I pretty much developed like snake skin on my shoulders, and it was like it was only between 20 and 23 degrees. Like,
yeah.
How do you think I would handle fucking Malawi? I would.
All I can say,
burn like Hiroshima.
I cannot wait for a winter just to hear how you feel about the snow and stuff.
No,
Germany gets cold.
I'll suck at it. I won't put on a brave face. I think the problem on this side of the hemisphere is there is no middle ground. It is always extremes. You might even find the Malawian weather proper.
No, that's true.
Here it's always, there's no middle ground. It's always, okay, 40 degrees, negative or positive. I'm like, okay. Okay.
But yeah, no, it's true. It's either hot or it's cold. It's not good either way.
But there's some legitimately good days though. Like, no lie. Oh man. Cinematic, like, the blue weather, blue skies, and like, oh, this is what those novels were talking about.
See,
and all those.
The thing is, it's typical British nature, like Scotland and England, I think, that it doesn't really matter what the weather's like.
Just
we will find a way to complain. Yes.
Just complain.
Yeah,
it's the easiest way.
It's too hot, 18 degrees. I'm not used to this. And then a light shower comes out. It's like, oh well, that's us fucked now for the day.
Yeah. That's our summer gone. It's been gone. That's always the thing you hear. Because
one thing that I do sympathize with though for you guys is like, I was like saying, oh, snow is always awesome, and then I hear you people say, okay, there's this snow that comes, and then it isn't snow, it's wet as well, so it's just slush.
Yeah, we
get
snow.
We
get slush and we get ice at those exact points where you need to be careful on your footing even when it's dry. So we fall, no matter what.
It's really funny.
Into slush. Oh yeah, it's funny, but it's just miserable for everyone at the time. It's like one of those things that's funny in retrospect.
Yeah. It's like if I'm stationary, it's really funny, but if I've got to move, then it's like, oh fuck. But yeah. Anywho,
you're telling me you guys do expect to slip this following winter?
Yeah.
No matter what.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably slip even if we don't get ice.
Those pavements are icy, my friend.
Like, I used to jog to work like every day, and I attempted to do that with the same rubbish shoes, like when it was horribly icy one year. And I fell down the exact same spot like 3 days in a row. Like my tailbone is still recovering to this day.
Oh dear.
Oh man.
Oh shit.
But I just don't learn. So, and I never leave early for work.
Trust your footwear. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
But that's what I was gonna say. in the world of manga and anime, because I've just remembered that we are a manga and anime.
Oh yeah,
podcast,
we are apparently.
Apparently, primarily,
That's
that's what we are. If anyone's listening, we are, and you'll learn a lot about manga and anime and how to write and draw manga and anime. That didn't make any sense. Anyway, Sherbert, I'll start with you. Any anime, any manga that you have watched, that you have read, that you have written yourself recently in the last week or so?
Well, the reason I originally came on to Manga Raiders was I self-study doing game design. Working on one.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
If you've checked my Develop Your Story section, like the first thing that I posted up was a thing called Dracon, and a lot of people were saying that it sort of tied in towards the sort of Attack on Titan thing, where it's a post-apocalyptic thing, mainly dominated by some kind of monster. But this was like, the idea was that alchemy was is a big thing in this, and a great alchemist had developed like a way to create life, but he lost control of the things that he created, and then when he did learn how to control them, he had to control them from like the second that he made them. So he made things to fight these, but he lost, and then eventually humanity came back out of that, and it's the sort of the recovery stages of that, but there's still creatures roaming wild. So it's like,
oh man, that is interesting.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I am really guilty of not paying as much attention as I should to the manga creations and developer story.
Yeah,
normally,
I didn't see that one. I'm sorry.
I'm going to. I will make this pledge on air right now. I will make more of an effort to endeavour, because I need to start reviewing, because a lot
you do find some good stuff on there, I've got to say.
Yeah.
I'm not,
oh god, yeah, there's some.
Mine is probably nothing in comparison. Like some of the people I can't remember who it was I read. Like someone posted one just a little while ago before we came on here, and it was
Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain.
A parody of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or something like that. But
Stalin. Something about Stalin.
Yes, and like I was reading it, and I was just like, I was absolutely pissing myself, and I don't know where it's gonna go, because like they said, it's a parody, so it doesn't technically have to go too far.
Yeah.
But like, I'm interested to see what they'll post next. Like, you find some real gems on there.
Honey, Stalin took the kids. That's the one.
Which one is that on? Which one? Okay,
that's the very first post. I'll put it in the link
underscore something. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it in the link dump anyway. But no, yeah, I'll be the first to admit that anything that I've ever read in developer story, manga creations, there are some incredible stories, and I'm not. This is not an exaggeration, anyway, including the artist board. Because I do go to the artist board as well. There is some incredible artwork that is of a higher standard than what gets published, and the same is very true for stories. There are some incredible stories that I have felt more emotion and have felt more attached to on the Manga Raiders forum
than I have in
published works. That make more sense.
In quotation marks, published words.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So definitely, I have been sleeping on it the last few months. I will give the excuse that I've devoted a lot of time to doing the happy hour and doing and editing these.
That's
my excuse.
I don't even know how you manage it. Honestly,
I don't get much free time, unfortunately. But yeah, no, that's glad to hear, man. Sherbert, is there anything else you've been watching or reading, or I'll pass you off to Lego if not.
Well, I'd started off that as a game, and that was why I came on to Manga Raiders, because I decided that it would be good to have a sort of spin-off as a manga, because the game itself, I'm looking to do it in a manga style. But yeah,
you made the game?
I'm making good progress with the game. Right now I'm tightening down some of the storyboard sections, and like I've got a friend that's helping me with programming, because I suck at programming. So I'm mainly sort of working on art, and since I'm pretty okay with pixel art, but when I decided to change it over to manga, like a manga style, it was sort of like inspired. Like I don't know if you're gamers yourselves, but if you played like Dust and Elysian Tale.
Oh yeah. Played Dust.
When I realised that was made by one guy, I was absolutely...
Was it really?
What?
Yeah.
What?
I had no idea Dust was made by one person.
One person. He was originally as an animated film, and then he decided it would turn out better as... So
Well,
he spent 4 years on it, and I think like over half that time was just him learning how to program the game.
Wow.
And
I
you
mean,
hear-
props
is
to him.
amazing.
That's a
you
fucking
see there's so
undertaking.
many stories like that, and then like when you look at things like Ori and the Blind Forest, which is made by
Yeah.
a full team, and I would say the two of them are very comparable as far as like graphical quality. and
Dust,
the whole
yeah, I was going to say Dust is very polished. As like the look, the graphics is
I've never
very
seen
polished.
screenshots. I'm going to try it out now.
It was on PlayStation Plus.
Is it a free to play or you buy it on Steam?
Like I'm a big Steam player. It's on there, but it'll also be on like Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus, I imagine.
I'm pretty certain it was. I'm pretty certain Dust was on PlayStation
man,
Plus
that is-
last night.
That is freaking
Yeah, so
I had
one
no idea.
guy took 4 years to make that, got over 1 million like copies sold within like a matter of weeks or something.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it was. Yeah, it was. Sorry, yeah, it was on. It was on PlayStation Plus last month, I believe, because I picked it up and played it. Because I had no idea what it was, but it seemed pretty damn interesting. But I've got major respect for him if he's done that on his own. Cause
So like seeing that just kind of like inspired me to think, well, I didn't really want to do the pixel art thing, but I thought that was like as far as my art side could take it. So it's just like, well, no, hell no, I'm gonna try and learn to do this properly. So I went on to Manga Raiders, and then was like, well, actually, this could be quite a good idea, like having a spin-off as a manga, and that's been quite a good focus as well. But yeah, I think that's me anyway. So how
That's
about you
great.
guys? What have you guys been working on?
Wait. I've got to ask though first about your Dreamlab story that you posted.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to submit it for the anthology? Because we do need the anthology thing to happen. And for anyone who doesn't know, there's the writers anthology that we are definitely planning on publishing. I'm the editor, so send in your works. We still have like 4 works that we need. So yeah, so Sherbert, you wrote Dreamlab like in a matter of 1 week, I guess.
Well, yeah.
And then yeah,
5
so
days, but I want to continue it. That was like 8 pages worth. I want to try and stretch it to the 20 pages mark because I do have a plan for it. But I want to change the last, like the day 5 post I made because that was a bit of a rush job, and I didn't like it very much. And then I have a terrible habit for mixing up like British and American grammar, so I need to like go through.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Was it you who mentioned about the quotation marks things, or
I don't
not
think
sure.
so. Not in the quotation marks. I don't. But yeah, like I need to pour through the whole thing and just like decide whether I want to come across as British or American.
just go for both. Just do both. Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
It is the greatest. It is the greatest discussion of the century. Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot that I have to ask for a writers episode or whatever. But yeah, cool.
Wait,
you have
just
it? Yeah.
just for clarity, we will be doing a writers episode very soon. It is coming. So is an artist episode. They are both coming. It's just basically there's a lot of people who want to go on the writers episode. So
Much to talk about.
there's a huge queue of people. So I think there's going to be obviously more than one. It's just actually doing a few. Speaking of a writer, I think we may have one. On board.
Oh.
Oh God, it's Gelmra!
Yay! There we go. We're up to a 4-man queue. Crew. He's got to get a mic. It's okay.
Gotta get a mic. Okay, then we can
Alright.
talk about you, Vacant. Yeah. Vacant, you are a writer as well, even though you hide it too much.
I am
How
a writer.
goes Heavy Rain? And I demand more chapters, more than the meager ones that you have posted.
Well, you'll be happy to know, Lego, that after 8 months, an unintentional 8-month hiatus.
Nigga, you take too. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh shit. Yeah, but dude, you take way too long with your chapters. It is annoying. And I reviewed those chapters and I waited. I was like,
I
this
appreciate it.
author has
I'm
abandoned his
bad.
own story.
I'm sorry. No, I haven't. No, this is the thing. I haven't abandoned it. It's just I put that on hold so I could finish another story. But the other story I'm going to completely overhaul. So I thought it made no sense to keep that on hold while I was overhauling another story. So basically, you'd be happy to know that I am back writing it to a weekly basis.
Awesomeness. Finally.
Yeah, I'm back to writing on a weekly basis, hopefully. Getting back into the swing of things. It is ridiculously hard to pick up midway through an arc after 8 months. Like, even though I had, because what I do essentially is I will write all my arcs in full. I'll write them all in full, so I know exactly what's going to happen in each arc. But I also leave a little room for leeway when I write. So when I've got back, I'm writing in script form now. It's so hard because I was like, what did I want to do with this again? Right, okay. It's
that's the thing. Like I was so used to writing for like so long, just in an attempt at doing like a novel, and then it's been a weird transition to try and turn it into a script for a manga. Like, if you have a plan out for it in just a regular style.
I think what I found, I can, writing in prose, it's very easy because you can put actions in without a second thought. But to do panel by panel is a lot more difficult, I find, because you sort of have to break down the actions panel by panel, but you also have to think what would realistically be shown in a panel. Like, if you put shakes their heads, then that's gonna be a panel because it's gonna show the speed lines around the head. Like, do you know what I mean? It's gonna show the panels. If they get up and open the door, that's gonna be them standing up, them moving to the door, them opening the door. Like, it is always a war. It could be an entire page could be devoted to somebody in a chair, sitting up, standing up, going across to the door, getting to the door, putting a hand on the door, turning the handle, and opening it. Like, it would be like you have to kind of think of those things, or you cut it out, but then what you cut out. So it's an interesting.
At the same time, though, like, you want to give like, if you've got an artist doing it for you, then
you want to give them leeway.
You want to give them some leeway. So even if you do have the descriptive as just what that sort of section entails, then you can leave it to them to decide a little.
Personally for me, how I write, because I'm doing it, I'm writing script form at the moment, but that would be something eventually. That'd be something eventually I would get to an artist. So I kind of just do what I do is 5 panels per page and do about 20 pages, and then that gives enough leeway for them to do what, like, they can put their own artistic twist if they want to add panels, because obviously most manga pages are not going to be 5 panels per page, and I don't always write with 5 per page, but it tends to be a good basis, like just a good average to work at. So sometimes it'll be a bit less if I want like a full page shot of something like a confrontation. But I always think if you give a bit of an artistic license for anyone who would pick it up eventually, when I pay them a large sum of money, when I earn the fortune from a happy hour, when we become a global success, that's it. That's when we're all getting published. But
as far as mainstream is concerned, have you seen how things are going for White Crow? Like, he's really going all the, I don't know what the phrase is it the 9th mile, the 10th mile with his story. He's getting it out there. No. He's even gotten into.
I mean, White Crow has gone out. He's marketed it successfully. He's got his Kickstarter. He's got his website. He was even at a convention with posters, I believe. I think he was saying.
Yeah. Publishers are even interested in his work. I'm like, what?
It's going places, and props to White Crow, and I wish him the best of luck, and I really do hope that gets Springboard, because
me too, man.
Having been there since,
waiting for my free T-shirt.
I'm waiting for my free publicity, motherfucker. But yeah, I think we have somebody joining us, another debutant who has, quite frankly, one of the richest and greatest sounding voices that I've ever heard on the Happy Hour. He is a fellow debutant. He is the High General Lord of Admirals of Manga Raiders Madness, Chaos, Confusion Department. It can only be Gelmra Sensei. Or you've changed your name now. It's Gelmra Sensei. Excuse me, apologies. And how's it going today, dude? You okay?
I'm fine, I think. Yeah. Living still.
Living, breathing. That's a victory.
I am going to spend my entire day tomorrow trying to master your accent, Gelmra, because I want to speak like that to the ladies.
I'm going to ask Gelmra, why do you have a job in like voice acting in like movie trailers or something?
No.
You should.
No.
You should do, because it's like that's a movie star voice, if anything. I think we've all just been amazed at the voice. Like,
the entire plan, if there was a plan, has just been derailed at the hands of Gelmra's voice.
My knees bending against this wheel. I don't even know why. It is a lordly voice. I do not know. God damn it, knee. I want to sit down.
You sit down. You sit yourself down, my friend. Like I say, welcome Gelmra to the show.
Welcome.
Don't worry.
Aboard, man.
You haven't missed much. We've just been... I don't even know what we've been talking about. We've been talking about shit for the last hour or something.
I just want to practice accents now.
We've still got questions.
How dare you understand the struggle of not having a proper accent? I don't even know what my accent is. I think it's squeaky, annoying...
Malawian.
Character. Yeah, Malawian character.
I have no idea
what were we
we're
saying?
about. We asked Gelmra how he was.
On
He's
average.
still breathing, so that's a positive.
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, the theme of the episode, I guess, is basically one long question time that I'd like to do. So I've taken a few questions from around the site and from members.
I have
you
one,
would like
by
to
the
put
way,
a question
just
in?
for later. It's just a fun question. It's sort
a
of
Danish
Danish,
question.
by the way, but yeah.
Well, I've taken
For the
some
end
that are
of the-
popular from Manga Rages, and I've taken some from members as well. And it's basically, I'm just going to pitch these to everyone.
Yeah.
Don't need to go too in depth. Like, if you haven't got an answer, don't worry about it. But I just thought it'd be quite fun to go through these ones because these seem to be popular topics that go on the site and they're quite recent as well. So the very first one that I've got is from Auzora, or Auzora. And this one's dead simple, very simple. What languages do you speak?
I speak English, and then I dabble in French, but it's the sort of nonsensical French, where I just try and pick out things that will confuse the French if I ever attempt to speak to them. So
English, and a bit of French.
I speak English.
That's not English.
Ich spreche Deutsch.
That wasn't English.
I speak 3 languages.
That
Oh,
made
right,
perfect
shit,
sense
I
to
must
me.
speak something else. Forgot, sorry. So you speak English, Lego. I'm assuming that you also have a hand in German, and...
Yes, fist in German.
So you're bilingual.
Can I ask you a question?
What the fuck? No, how did that happen? No, Vacant, no, why?
Bilingual.
No, I'm trilingual. No,
You're
actually, I'm
trilingual?
actually
Why? What's your third
more
language?
Usually
German and
Southern
Southern
African. They have the colonial language. They have a colonial language and then the home language. So Malawi has a language called Chichewa.
Oh, right, cool,
and then English. Because we're totally
British as bitches.
So, yeah.
So you're trilingual. Gelmra, any languages that you've mastered over the years?
I have not mastered any languages, but I do
Canadian
speak
English.
Canadian
That's
English.
good enough for me. Another question. The next question is coming in from DreadX_Jet. I'm assuming it is. And it is, any tips on writing a good backstory? So it's a writing question. People are going to learn about writing on here. It's finally happened. It's only taken 11 episodes.
I'm not sure. I mean, every writer here is on beers, really. Apart from Gelmra, but like his voice
basically,
just overwhelms
we're
any
all
advice.
not sober. Gelmra's the only sober one, so he's going to be the only one who's going to give decent advice. Is essentially what we're saying in a nutshell. So no pressure, Gelmra.
Yeah. So who would like to start this one off?
Do you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it first of all. Yeah, I think writing a backstory, it can be simpler than you can imagine. It's as long as because you know what kind of personality your character has, and you know what actions they're going to take in the immediate future and what they are likely to do in a situation. Because once you've figured their personality out, then the backstory should become easy, because you just need to think how, if they're particularly sadistic, if they're they have a phobia or something, then that would be explained in the backstory. So as long as you've got the personality figured out, you can basically backpedal and say, right, okay, they hate children. Why? Make a story about why they do. And another thing I'd just say within regards to the backstory is that not everything needs to be divulged. I think that's something that people tend to overlook. That some people tend to give people a day-to-day history. Like at 1 year, like sometimes you'll see like at 3 they did this, at 6 they did this, at 7 they went to this school, they then went to this high school. If it's not about education, like don't include it. It's assume that they've gone to school. Like if it's set in the real world, like you don't need to include every detail unless it's relevant, because it's when and where you can slot in the backstory. Because it's not like there's nothing worse than when a character gets introduced and then you have a flashback scene into all of their history, and it's like, just listen about all this shit. Yeah, so it's not fantastic.
Man. An info dump. Actually, I liked what you did with Heavy Rain. Your flashback. I saw a flashback. I was like, oh god, I'm so sorry. This would be so annoying to watch.
No, it would not be.
You only showed one event, and you didn't flower it too much. It was just an event, and it was just a memory. And I filled in the blanks, and it ended up being good. So you don't need to be detailed.
Yeah.
The detail,
especially when you're writing on paper, because the fact is, if you spend a chapter divulging someone's backstory and then it doesn't really come into play in the present, because that's what you're reading the person essentially, and that's what you care about. The backstory just gives you just some substance and concrete, just some substance in regards to why they take the actions they do and what they are likely to do. It just gives you insight into the person. So I think that'd be a good way to start. Figure out the personality, and then you can backpedal. If there's a major facet of their personality, like for instance, I'd give the example of, say, the Hound at Game of Thrones doesn't like fire. The reason is because he was burned as a child. That's even though that's very basic, that's an obvious thing. You can extrapolate that to give a solid reason, a logical, understandable reason as to if they have a facet of their personality that needs to be exaggerated.
Yeah, I've been reading Stephen King, and I'm always impressed by how he builds up his characters. This whole thing about backstories and stuff, he describes the character's thoughts like someone is sitting outside, right, and he's thinking about something. No, not thinking in the anime term. Okay,
I don't think thinking's an anime,
but then he slips in some small. I'm sorry. Okay, fine. He slips in backstory of narration, basically. He has tiny memories, like he sees a car passing by. It's part of the narration. Let's say a scary car, a black car drives into the driveway.
Why's he got to be a black car, man? Why's he got to be a black car?
A Mustang or something. It's like, yeah. Because I love.
Because it's part of the backstory. Be quiet, Vacant.
God damn it, man. Yeah. Anyway, he says, this. Then he says, just like the car that I saw when I was a kid back then or whatever. I can't directly say it, but he slips it in the middle of his narration. A small thing, he says, he even mentions nursery rhymes, rock songs that the character into when they were a child. He never goes into flashback mode or info dump backstory mode. He slips it into the narrative. It doesn't get in the way of the narrative, but yeah. I don't know if that.
No, I get you. You need to kind of weave it seamlessly into the narrative as opposed to going, boom, info dump. Here's all this character's life story.
What I would say is just try to have the character think about something while relating it to his past, just a little, instead of having info dump describing.
Segue into
That's
it
not
as opposed to just hard cut new chapter. Here's his backstory. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. No, fair enough. Fair enough. Sherbert, Gelmra, anything on regards to writing a good backstory or anything?
Well, I think one of the problems that the two of you have sort of touched on as well, is that it's very easy to overthink things when you're forming a backstory. You've got to remember that there are so many situations that can inspire a character's development. I mean, for example, a character who is well off and rich and very comfortable in life, they might have a weak character, like a personal character, and one thing to turn someone who's a perfectly comfortable, generally good person to be warped into a villain, or if they have found a way to be built up, then they can still have the strength to develop from that. But with someone, say that an orphan, who's lived on the streets, the same thing applies. And I think people try and put things into a sort of stereotype, really, with the orphan will rise up and become someone greater, or the person who's comfortable in that, they'll be warped into a villain. But it can be completely switched round. There is no limit to how you can develop a character.
I do worry about these stereotypes.
Yeah, I mean, that's been a common thing. So many people who end up with their parents dead and they're out for revenge or stuff. I can't on Titan, Batman. These are all sort of mainstream ones from anime and just general.
Too many people
comics and
stereotype, like
television.
Scottish people drinking, for instance, is like a big stereotype that we need to abolish right here and now.
I am a poor example of stereotypes that should be avoided, but you can avoid the stereotypes.
Don't be too
guys.
cliched, basically.
Like, yeah, don't be too cliched, but don't worry about coming across as cliche because you can still develop what seems at first glance a cliche.
Well, there's a difference. Yeah, there's a
unique.
difference between a cliche and a trope. I think that goes into that kind of argument. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would argue that cliche is overused and it's the same routine, whereas a trope is more of a theme, as opposed where there's more leeway to expand upon it, put your own twist on it, and put your own thing on it. And it's still, even though it's not a totally 100% unique idea, it still works really well in the narrative of your story, and it's it's one that works.
TV tropes, man, lifesaver.
TV tropes. Shout out to TV tropes. Please sponsor. £1 million per episode, please. And
even though it's taken a lot of my life.
And yourself, Gelmra, anything?
I don't think backstories are actually that important because I don't know. Nobody really reads the backstory. You just reveal it as you go through the writing.
It's true, yeah. Because I think it's okay for a writer to know the entire backstory. Like I could know what school a character I've written has attended, but I'm pretty certain 99.9% of readers would not give a fuck because it doesn't impact the story. So I think that's another thing. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Well, I mean, a mainstream example in that is Game of Thrones. I mean, if you've read, I don't know if you guys have read the books and watched the show, but I mean, like a massive amount of the theories on what's going to happen next on the show or in the book is like based from the book, even though a lot of people haven't read the book. Like they don't care about the backstory; they're just happy watching the show. You can easily implement something without too much backstory. But it depends on the story. Like it depends on how you plan to portray that story. Like if it's a long-running thing, then you may want some backstory to help out on. And
I really think in the end, it's the questions that run the story. Like, can you guys imagine how awesome it is to just imagine what was Byakuya's backstory? People were so excited just by one flashback because Kubo Tite is so sparse with his background information.
Are you saying that? Are you saying that Tite Kubo doesn't give much backstory to any character whatsoever?
I'm saying exactly that. Yes.
No, he didn't. No.
Honestly, you disagree? What? No.
No. He gives a few flashes. I think the only one that got given was Ichigo's dad.
Like Jin. I don't know if Kubo has managed to piece together Gin
Ichimaru's backstory. Don't talk to me about that because that piece. I don't care what anyone says. That shit does not make sense. It does not make sense. Why has he found a Hogyoku?
What? Right? Vacant, have you figured it out? Have you seen any Reddit post that has managed to break it down? I did not see enough, man.
I'm getting angry because I get angry when I talk about Ichimaru's backstory.
Vacant, it makes perfect sense because fuck you, give me money.
But anyway, we'll move on from that question.
No,
Does anyone else want to field the question, or have you got any burning questions that you want to ask?
Well, for that final, that final question, like the only final thing I'd say is, if you have just the basis for a backstory, like work with it. I mean, my sort of motto when writing is churn it out and let it develop itself. And as long as you're sticking with it, and you will find parts where you will see as you write the story, oh, that's a good idea to include that. That's why. You will ask yourself questions while writing. So, like when you're finding those answers, a lot of the time, a good backstory develops itself.
Exactly.
So yes,
have you read On Writing by Stephen King by any chance, Sherbert?
What's that?
On Writing by Stephen King. Have you read that book before?
No.
Because a lot of my writing, philosophy is like from that book, and it seems that you get the idea as well. That you just write. I write more organically than technically. I really hate these charts and these cheat sheets and whatever character character background sheets and stuff. I don't know how to use them. They're useful, but I do not know how to use them.
Years ago, before, like, this was like years ago when I was barely into manga or anime, like, I was just sort of I read fantasy books and stuff, and when I tried to write then, I would make, like, massive backstories, like, for one that I'm working on now, I originally wrote a massive backstory, and then when I looked at it, it was like, I have just wrote thousands of words of things that may never get used in this book. Like, I just let it happen naturally now, because you will find, like, if you read it back, if you take a break when you've finished and you read back on it, you will find for yourself, like, you'll be able to notice yourself if there's a point where it's missing, and you can fill that gap. You don't need to break yourself down about it. Just like, ask yourself the question, well, why is that? You know, is there something that seems missing there? And if there is, you can find a way to fill that in.
Vacant, what do you think? Because you definitely managed to comfortably build up a huge backstory and write your story.
I think it's all about when you reveal things. Well, I'm all for. I love the details. Like, I'm very guilty.
Yeah, it's all
of the person who will write. Like, I will, like, know the height and weight of every character that I design. I know when they were born. What the I love those little details myself. But I know that if it's not. I go basically if it's not important to the story, and it doesn't build a good picture of the character. Like, fair enough, maybe saying someone's tall, but I don't need to say they were 5'9". They were 6'7". Like, people don't need to know specifics. If I say they were taller than their companions or something like that shit.
Oh no, I know what you mean. Like, I love, like, building worlds. That was one of the reasons I started off like, writing so many, like,
I love the world building, but I accept that most people and a lot of the details won't make it into the final product, and that's okay, because if it's extra information, you can add it. Like, you know, sometimes I have, like, a side thread that I just add extra information into that's not pertaining, like, necessary to the story. You don't need to know it, but it's there if you need it, basically. So it is interesting. Like, I tend to be quite meticulous when it comes to details, but I try to time it. Don't throw too much.
It does depend on your
I always
own
think
style.
don't throw too much at anyone, because you're not going to digest it.
Yeah, I guess my point really is, like, if you're not naturally building up a backstory where it's going to make sense, like, for the story, then churn something out that makes sense to you, and the rest should come naturally. If it doesn't, then you're not motivated by what you're writing.
Fair enough. We best move on with that one. But another question, guys. Anyone got a particularly interesting question they want to ask? It could be about art. It could be about writing. Could be about anything. Full knows.
I demand an after hours cut off segment where I ask the douchebag questions as Lego Maestro always asks.
That's not a question. That's not a question. That's a demand.
Okay, no, I'll ask a proper question now. Actually, this is sort of a game-like question. Anyway, it's a thought experiment or whatever, and it's anime related. What would you guys do if you had Kyoga Suigetsu, the Zanpakuto that belongs to Aizen?
First of all, has everyone watched Bleach? Lego.
I have not completed it.
Yes,
A
definitely.
long time.
Does everyone know what Kyoga Suigetsu is?
I don't remember. It's been a while.
Oh man.
Okay, Kyoga Suigetsu is Sosuke Aizen's Zanpakuto. It is his Shikai. Basically, it has the ability to control all 5 senses. It's called the ultimate hypnosis. So he can make you see, hear, feel, taste and touch anything that he wishes, basically. So you can basically fuck with anyone's senses. That's pretty much the thing. Exactly. What would I do if I had Kyoga Suigetsu?
Yeah, your world, yes. It's the sword has appeared, you can
rob a bank, I guess.
It's there for some reason.
I'd use it on bar staff and wooden.
I guess I'd use it to rob a bank, so then I'd have money, and then I don't know.
But you wouldn't need money because you could just use it to
money.
get things for free.
Yeah, but
exactly.
But you could do that and people would never notice that the things are gone. But then if you do something as big as rob a bank, then people will hunt for you. I mean, sure, you'll escape them. It could be fun to just like fuck around with people chasing you. But,
I know, but the thing, if you rob the bank, you could rob a bank once and use the ability once, and then you've just got money to pay for things. But like, say I went to the shop and I wanted like a Pepsi or something, I'd be like, fuck, I'm going to do the whole sword thing, and also carrying a sword around would be something that people ask questions like, because I'm not being, I don't know.
That is the interesting thing.
I know you live in Scotland, and I know it's a bit more hardcore than where I am. But the only time that I've ever seen a sword on the street is when I was younger, and we. In fact, no. I'm not going to tell this story, but this story. Remind me the next time we do an After Hours episode to tell the story of the katana blade. But just I'm not going to go into it here. But basically, yeah.
Oh man!
I have seen someone walk down like my city's centre, like the main drinking street called Sucky Hall Street.
Wow, Sucky Hall Street.
An axe.
I'm coming to Scotland. Oh my god!
With an axe, like he's been marching down with an axe, screaming at someone. Like
that was terrible.
That was
Gelmra. If you had the ability to basically fool anyone's senses, what would you do?
I would dominate the galaxy.
Of course. A Lego.
And lead humanity across the stars.
Because you could go to NASA and just say, every fucker, let's go.
Holy shit, Gelmra.
It would work. Lego, have you got a plan in mind?
Bar staff and women.
Bar staff and women from Sherbert.
I'm
robbing a bank. Gelmra's furthering human civilization and putting us through traveling the stars and the galaxy. And Lego, what would you do?
An outrageous feature.
No.
I love it.
No man, I'm the same.
You're robbing a bank.
I'll do petty. I'll do really petty stuff.
Robbing a bank is not petty.
How would you explain having a sword? How would you explain having a sword? No, it's petty, man. You're supposed to save humanity or cure hunger.
How could you cure hunger by hypnotizing people's senses?
Hunger disease? Oh god.
But Lego, you could use that as another line in German for picking up women. Would you like to see my
Kyokusugetsu?
Oh, Sherbert. Oh man.
And then you use that shit, and then they wake up.
Yeah, but the thing is, saying "Would you like to see my sword?" isn't a pickup line and more of a threat in my eyes.
Well, that depends.
Fair play. Anybody else has got a question? Anyone else got a question? I'm fielding questions. Sherbert, Gelmra, have you got any questions you would like to pose to the rest of us and answer yourselves?
I don't. But
I do have one more question lined up, just in case. But I'm asking everyone else if they've got any. Gelmra, have you got anything you'd like to ask anyone, or not to put you on the spot?
Are gems truly outrageous?
Truly outrageous. Yeah, I'd go with it. I think they are.
Really,
I don't want to say outrageous because I don't want to steal your word.
Gems are truly outrageous. They are truly outrageous.
I love it. I'm gonna have to take like a soundbite of this. I'm gonna have to start paying royalties to you, Gelmra, because we're gonna have to be putting this in future episodes.
Yeah, Gelmra, no, this is too expensive to be on the happy hour.
I think you need to
paid, first paid member.
No man.
A new era is upon us.
Oh,
do you know who it sounds like? It sounds like Liam O'Brien, who does Gara and does Kane from Final Fantasy IV and stuff like that. That's who it reminds me of. And Ukitake. I think it's awesome. You need a job.
I still say Liam Neeson.
Who was that bad guy at the end of the Defenders of Galaxy Marvel movie? What is that movie? No, Galaxy. The guy who was
the Avengers.
The guy who acted in
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. The guy who acted in Jurassic Park. Guardians of the Galaxy. And then the main bad guy at the end of Galaxy.
I knew you're on about, and his name's
yes,
him. What's his name?
He wasn't defeated. He was the teaser for the sequel or whatever. It just showed him, and then he said something, and then I'm like, okay, that is Gelmra. That is Gelmra. Do you know that guy? Did you watch Guardians of the
No,
Galaxy?
I know what you mean.
I did, but I forgot what happened.
I know what you mean, and I just can't get his name.
God.
Is it Forrest or something? It's like Forrest or something. Right, I'll get it.
I do not know either him or the guy who's in X-Men Apocalypse.
Right, I'm gonna get it for you. I am going to get it for you. It's killing me. I've googled the shit. I've googled it. Thanos. That's who it is. Thanos. I knew it was something for us. Thanos. Close enough. Okay, I've got one more question.
Gelmra, are you coming on another episode, dude? You better come on another episode, man.
If I can get there on time, maybe.
We will get you on time. Don't worry. I think I fucked up talking about the times, to be honest. I think I give the wrong time, so don't worry. One final question. This is one final question. This is from me, and this is going to be very brief. So don't need to spend too much time on this one, guys. It's just around the table, very quick, and it is tips on writing a good action scene. So I was just wondering.
Right action.
So to write a good action scene, is there any tips, any hints that you would give to anyone who is a prospective writer looking to write their first action scene?
I've always found, like, when I've read books that have action scenes, that it's not, like, you don't have too much detail.
Yeah.
Like, one of the best ways to get an action scene is to leave some of it to the reader's imagination, like if you're doing it as prose. As far as an artist, again, I would say leave a bit of room for flexibility. Write the style. I mean, are they clumsy with it? Are they, is there someone that's trained? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you have like a martial art or something that it's inspired by, then add that into the script. But if it's prose, then the little details. I mean, one of the most imaginative ones for me was, I don't know if any of you guys have read books by Brent Weeks.
No.
He was a New York Times bestseller with his current series, which was The Black Prism, I think the first book was called. The Lightbringer series it's called. But the books
The Black Prism.
Black Prism is the first one, yeah.
Racist.
And, like, he was my inspiration for writing. He's still writing now. Yes, racist. The ethnic prism. But his original series was a trilogy called the Night Angel trilogy, and I just remember a fight scene where he was just mentioning things like backhand, parry, like side sweep. There was like a couple of little names for moves, but it's like the description of the moves, like, well, the name for the moves was enough to describe it, you know, just that sort of like praying mantis kind of thing. It's like you do get an image in your head, and that's what you're looking for as a writer. If you're doing it in manga, then I would say keep it simple on write what their style's like, have a bit of brainstorming with your artist. If you are an artist, then you already have an image in your head. But as far as writing goes, it depends on prose or manga. Like, if you have an idea in your head, then it's more about communicating that to the artist themselves. If it's prose, then it doesn't need to be too detailed. You don't have to do it with, but it went from just with Brent Weeks, it was like, say, from a frenzy of attacks to literally just one word for each move, like parry, strike, like uppercut, that kind of thing, and that can be so much more effective than trying to be too detailed. How about you guys?
Lego?
I would say there's two modes. You can go poetic, like you can go full on descriptive language. Like I read from Vampire Hunter D, a series by some Hideyuki Kikuchi. He's the Stephen King of Japan, apparently, and I love his novel series. It's about a badass vampire who is shockingly beautiful to everyone, and he is impossible. He can cut atoms and stuff. It's just awesome, and it is and amazing, and you can read it. But how he goes with his action scenes, right? He's overpowered as hell, but when he fights, The author uses descriptive language, synonyms and stuff like his blade, like a silver crescent appeared. It was like a moon. Like he's definitely better at it than me. But he uses poetic language rather than directly explaining what he's done. Just for a sword slash, he's going to use very descriptive language. And then there's the other form that I call technical, Tom Clancy. This is the guy who inspired Splinter Cell and stuff, and his books are usually very thick and very technical. So his action scenes are really weird. They go on for a long time. He describes the machine guns that are being used. He describes the military movements, the techniques of breaking into a room. They take really long, and they don't get to the point, but they describe everything, but they are still effective. So I would say take either one of those two tips. Honestly, when you want to learn how to write something, I would just say read something, or read the thing or watch the thing. Like you want to know how a good action scene looks, you read the novels, because there's countless examples. I could even go on for ages right now. But how I write action scenes personally, I like onomatopoeia. I like the whole whack, bam, bang thingamajig. So I put lots of sound effects, and I describe the hand slicing through the air. I'm on the poetic side rather than the technical side. So I don't describe technical things. I wouldn't mention a martial art. I would just say, his hand was like the fist of heaven sent from Buddha when he was pissed off after his food was stolen from him. Yes. Something like that. Yeah, basically.
How about you, Vacant?
Oh God. I was going to pass to Gelmra first, because I posed the question. Gelmra, my friend, any tips on action scenes or writing an action scene for anyone who's a novice, or anything you could lend your expertise to? Do you want me to let you have a think of it, and I'll do you want me to go and I'll shit talk some more, and I'll let you have a think. Well, for me, it's a big topic. I brought it up and asked to speak briefly about it, which was like a kind of hypocritical, because it's a very big topic.
Yeah.
I guess something that hasn't been mentioned. I guess the one thing I'll say is I think pacing and logic is important into action scenes and fighting battles and stuff. I tend to compare it to, like, if anyone's a fan of wrestling, I tend to compare it to like a wrestling match, because if you look at certain battles and you look at certain fights, you have to look at half of a battle is decided before it's even, like, before anything, like a sword is drawn, or before they match up, because I think the emotional state is dead important for any battle. Because, for instance, if somebody is going against the guy who killed his parents, he's going to be very angry. He's not going to have finesse. He's going to go in and just, if he's got a sword, he's going to be swinging the fuck out of that, and he's just going to try and chop and hack this guy up to death. He's going to be angry. He's not going to, like... The thing that always gets me, I think the prime example would be Red Letter Media, and when they do their reviews on the Star Wars prequel, the Plinkett reviews, I think they're very accurate in terms of Star Wars, for instance, Episode 6. You've got where Luke is really, like, he's pissed at Vader, and he's just swinging at him. Like, he's literally just swinging. There's no fancy business or anything going on there. And then in Episode 1...
I need to see that one now.
I'll link it to you, dude. Red Letter Media, they're really interesting. If you, it's worth... They're very long reviews, but they're really worth checking out. But yeah, in regards to like, if you contrast that with Episode 1 and like Obi-Wan and spoilers, Qui-Gon Jinn dies, and he dies literally in front of Obi-Wan Kenobi's eyes, and he runs up as if he's like really pissed, and then they do like this really choreographed fight, and it just takes all the tension out of it. So I think like emotional state's very important, and you need to think of like, because I always think that the good guy, the hero that we're supposed to be rooting for, should be at a disadvantage. So it could be if they're tired, could be, if the person's just stronger than them. Like, there's so many ways to write it. So I think like just going into it, the emotional state, always keep that in mind. Whereas if they're like, if they're pissed off, they're not going to be like choreographed fights. They're going to just be swinging at them. They're going to leave gaps. If they're very calm, like they're a calm and collected individual, then maybe they'll be fine. If they're lazy, there's all sorts that you can think into.
I've got a sub question to ask to you, Vacant. Which action scenes would you say you enjoy more between Star Wars and Star Trek?
I've never watched Star Trek, so
which is a better series?
Easy question.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the one thing I'd throw in. And Gelmra, anything that you can think of in regards to action scenes?
Well, I think you guys have pretty much covered everything, so there's not much I can think of right now.
I think we've done that justice. We've done it justice.
What did I ever think?
Shit. I think we've already reached the end of episode 11.
Oh man,
Yeah, that's flown by, my friends. No, it's been good. I think we've actually had some like writing questions. So we've had some helpful questions. So like that's a first for the happy hour. I'm very happy. Not just that, of course.
I do have a question.
Apparently we had anime and manga side, so
I do have a question, and you can like choose to edit it out because it was just one that I picked up last night on the public chat, and it just came to mind there. Like, would you guys say that there's any sort of themes or anything that are overused? What came into conversation last night was the vampire theme, where some people were saying that it was overdone, and I've never tried to write anything on vampires myself, but I think that the time where it's been overdone is kind of past, and there is still room for it to be unique. I was wondering what you guys think on just any kind of theme, not necessarily vampires, but just anything. Like, if there's any, is there anything that's been overused?
Oh man. Okay, I should mention that zombie films, it's like they've been here for, I don't know if the zombie theme has been here for 5 years or so, but it's just been here
There's
for
a lot of zombies
so long now. Like just an advertisement on my webpage, those ads on the side of my internet browser are zombies. It's been here for ages. They're still awesome. Most of them are still fun. What was this game by Naughty Dog? Last of Us. Yeah. They're still awesome. They're still great. Walking Dead. There's lots of fans, but
so like
for zombies. So zombies for Lego.
So Lego, would you say there's would you like if another big show or another big series came out for like that was based on zombies, would you still go to watch it?
Yeah, because I'm totally into it.
But you guys
zombies are glorious.
Yeah, I love Walking Dead. I can't diss zombies.
Yeah, I'm not annoyed with it. I'm annoyed with vampires right now, but they're still part of the scene. There is one interesting thing that I heard. I heard during the time of economic depression, Batman is the comic character that people love, and then during times of prosperity, people like Superman. So I don't know. It's just one random thing that I heard back in the day, but that I found interesting. The mood of the people changes, the audience changes.
See, I think vampires got a really bad rap because of the Twilight fad. But
I read the entire saga.
Oh, I will be asking you about 50 Shades of Grey next, Gelmra.
Oh no. Tell me when, so that I may be at least 200 miles away from that.
But yeah, like, I think vampires got a bad rap for that, but I do think there's still room for it to stay unique. I don't think I'll ever intend to write a vampire thing myself, but I do think, like, for example, a fairly recent anime, Seraph of the End. I don't know if you guys have watched that. Like,
that's a good.
I read the manga, really good.
I read the manga since day one.
I've not read the manga yet. Like, I'm more of an anime watcher, but like, I thought that like that kind of convinced me. Well, that was one of the things that convinced me that there is still room for vampires to be unique, as long as it's not tied into the whole vampires hate werewolves, werewolves hate vampires, like that same old shit. Like, there's still plenty of room for lore to be expanded on that.
How do you swear to say shit without making it sound like a swear word? How?
Okay, I'm just going to pick out an object in my room Lego, and I'm going to name you it. Okay, alright, so...
Okay.
What the fuck are you saying, Lego? You fucking lamp.
Are you serious? It was still an offense, man. What the hell?
Are you
Teach
laughing?
me the sorcery. Teach me the sorcery.
Are you laughing at me, you wee curtain chain?
I want to learn
again, as if he's
Gelmra, which is your most profane statement you can say? Yes, swear at me in your accent. I am not a masochist at all. I am totally normal.
I am not an aggressive person. I don't fit into the stereotype because I am not aggressive. So
I need to learn that.
Canada is the best,
Fuck
Steve.
off, Lego. I'm not fucking aggressive, ya bam.
That was frightening. Anyway, on that note,
Thanks, Vic.
I think it's time to wrap up. I'm good to call it.
So.
That's episode 11 in the books. I'd like to thank Lego, I'd like to thank Sherbert, and I'd like to thank Gelmra for joining us later. Much appreciated, guys, for jumping on. It's been a lot of fun. I hope to see you around a lot more, and hopefully be on another one very soon. Again, Writers episode will be coming. I want to do a video game episode as well, so, whoever that interests on me. Hands up,
get
out as PMers or whatever the fuck. And if anyone wants to send questions into the Manga Raiders Happy Hour, just put it on the post or PM us on the Manga Raiders forum. Any other parting shots or parting statements from anyone tonight?
Just want to say thanks for having me, and I am happy to pop my happy hour cherry.
Much better. It's been a pleasure, my friend. So, as I say, hopefully get you on a lot more. Gelmra?
Well, thanks for having me.
We'll get you on from the start next time. I promise you.
No, wait,
we
Gelmra,
need Gelmra.
Like man. You have to say outrageous. You have to say outrageous. I'm sorry.
Outrageous.
I love it.
Yes. Okay, that's my parting shot.
You need to make Gelmra the opening for the next happy hour.
Just outrageous.
Exactly.
I think that's going to need to start every single.
Just get ready for another outrageous episode of Happy Hour.
We'll have to.
Gelmra, can you just say I've had too many mushrooms tonight?
He's not a performing monkey.
I've had too many mushrooms tonight.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Lego.
Yeah, it's been good. Been pretty good. Nice to talk with new people. It's great to see that other people, more people are interested in the episode. It's been awesome. Please come in. We are not as
only
creepy
Lego
as we
is.
sound.
Don't worry.
Actually,
Only
we are,
Lego
but
is as creepy as it sounds.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah.
But yeah. Awesome night. Cheers to you guys. I'll continue being a drunkard off camera, as they say.
Continue being Scottish.
I'll continue with being alive. I'll stick with Gelmra on this one.
And I'll continue being
Absolutely.
outrageous.
And on that note, take care, guys. See you soon. Bye. Love you. Bye.
Yeah.
And